here in 2022, how can you get the biggest orders driving on Uber Eats? Well, in this video, I have specific strategies for 2022, as well as some basics and some actual research done by Uber that might help us out here. So let's get into it. Jumping right into it here, number one, you need to at least understand the basics. So here on the channel, I want you to make at least $1.75 per mile. Now, I don't just pick that arbitrarily. After doing these apps for years, thousands and thousands of trips and transactions, I say 175 because every year you get a standard mileage deduction, a summation basically of operating and expenses for operating a vehicle for business. Now, this year here in 2022, you can write off 58.5 cents per business mile driven. And I want you to have a profit margin there, the difference between your general expenses, your deduction, and your gross revenue before taxes, what you're bringing home. Now, having said that, with mileage, I want you to aim for $25 an hour in earnings. Now, why do I say that? Because on a lot of sites, you'll see Glassdoor and other sites reporting income. A lot of the times for food delivery drivers, you'll see earnings reported of $13 to let's say $16 an hour. Now, being a team member here, and if you're not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe here. Our goal is to maximize your income on any gig app. And the only way you're going to do that is to understand the basics. Another basic strategy that you need to aim for when you're on the road, and this is really any food delivery app, is trying to do at least 3 to 4 deliveries per hour. So on average, generally you can do 2 deliveries per hour pretty safely. But if you're getting, hopefully, the shortest runs possible for the highest pay possible, you can fit in an extra maybe 1 or 2 deliveries. Again, aiming for 3 to 4 deliveries per hour. And then lastly, when it comes to basics, just understanding the busiest times to drive. So if I asked you on Uber Eats specifically, separate from let's say DoorDash or Grubhub, when does Uber Eats provide the biggest bonuses for your marketplace? Where can you drive in your marketplace to get the highest volume of orders? Where are most customers placing orders at? So speaking of distance on Uber Eats, I want to bring you back a few years to look at some actual research done by Uber's team. So here, our strategy is that Vicinity Matters. In this research from Uber Engineering in 2018, they talked about optimizing trips, deliveries on Uber Eats, and they called this the trip state model. In this blog post, Uber details using not only actual map GPS data, but accelerometers and gyroscopes in your phone to track you in different states of the trip, right? The actual delivery. So if you're stopped, if you're waiting, if you're en route to the restaurant, if you're literally circling the parking lot looking for a parking spot, or if you're standing inside the restaurant just waiting for an order, all of this data is compiled to optimize the system. And then if you didn't know, on the restaurant end, they're using what's called a merchant dashboard. And in their Uber Eats merchant dashboard, they will literally just tab different states of that order. They'll see a request, just like you see in assignments. They'll accept that request, and then they'll predict how much time they need to complete that order. Once it's ready, they'll click ready, and that will dispatch you as a driver. Now, this is all to say that, again, vicinity matters, your distance to the restaurant. So here's the thing. We know that Uber stated that they're tracking different travel metrics data, your actual driving once you get the assignment. But let's think about if these restaurants are using the merchant dashboard to indicate when that order is ready for pickup, and Uber states that is when they dispatch you as a driver. Who are they more likely to dispatch that order to? A driver that is closer to that restaurant, or one that's 15 minutes or so away. So what I always recommend is, again, how do I get the biggest orders? Well, you have more options of orders, so you can decline some of those orders that don't meet our basics thresholds that we just talked about, and you can get more volume of orders by waiting in what we call a power strip. Those are areas that are really dense with restaurants and ideally customers. Number 3, and in my opinion, the most important strategy of how do I get the biggest orders driving for Uber Eats this year, here in 2022, that's understanding bonuses and just bonus pay management. So number 1, surge pay. It is a variable bonus, unlike really most any other food delivery app. So these bonus pay options on Surge, it's a dollar amount, and it will ebb and flow. It's going to change. It'll go up and down based on supply and demand. So take a look at this map here. This is in my marketplace. This is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And if you're not familiar with Uber Eats, I'll just let you know that this is basically a cold time of day. Nothing is going on, and there's no surge pay, bonus pay. So you'll see a heat map, yellow, orange, red for really hot zones, and attached in those certain hot zones will be the dollar amount surge bonus. Proactively, you need to know, all right, this area is usually busiest. I can get a ton of orders up here. This area is a little bit slower, but there's a few good restaurants there, etc. Where are the power strips? And then, like we mentioned in our prior tip here, Vicinity, I want to put myself close and in those power strips. So now look at the same map, now a busy time of day, same marketplace here in Pittsburgh, and we can see the surge pay here. Nextly, understanding quest bonuses or batched bonuses on Uber Eats. So the good thing about Uber Eats is, unlike a lot of other apps, they have the most opportunities for stacked bonuses. So you can get a surge bonus on top of a quest bonus, on top of the other bonuses that we're going to talk about here. So a quest, I have to complete, again, it's a batched bonus, a certain amount of deliveries. And once I complete that batched amount of deliveries within a certain time, typically, let's say it's a day or maybe a week threshold, then I get the extra pay. Now, boost pay on Uber Eats, it's a pay multiplier. Now, I feel like Uber Eats is kind of phasing this out. I don't really see it as much here in Pittsburgh. Let us know down below in the comments if you still see boost pay. But a similar kind of incentive here, it's based on busy zones, much like Surge, but this doesn't change in the way that Surge does. Our next bonus type on Uber Eats, I feel like, is one of the trickiest bonuses. So pay attention to this. This is the consecutive trip bonus. So here I need to complete a certain amount of trips in a row, and then I get my bonus. So looking at some recent consecutive trip bonuses here in Pittsburgh, some of these actually look really good. So we can see earn an extra $14 for a 3 consecutive trip bonus. So in essence, that's adding really $4.67 on top of each order. And that's an addition to any surge pay, any tips, any other bonuses. Now, the caveat with consecutive trip bonuses that really makes it one of the trickiest bonuses is do not ignore the basics, the metrics that we mentioned at the start of this video, because literally it has to be, as the name implies, a consecutive streak bonus. So if I accept trip number 1, that starts my streak, and I have to accept the next trip to get right trip 2 out of 3, and then of course accepting the next trip after that. But if that second or third trip takes you 15, 20, 30 minutes outside of your busy zone, and I have seen it before, or whatever kind of metric that really just doesn't make sense, it says it's going to take an hour for like $3 or something like that, then use your best judgment. And then lastly, a bonus that will absolutely increase your average earnings per order, that's earnings guarantees. So this example here was a very attractive earnings guarantee. And remember, these are stackable bonuses. So this option said you'll be guaranteed to make $1,300 for 90 deliveries, obviously within the terms and the time span of this bonus offering. But if you just do the quick math on that, I mean, that averages $14.44 per order. Now, going back to our basics here, I want you to make at least $7, let's say, per order, so you're not wasting your time on low dollar orders. If it's busy, I bump that up to $10, if there's good bonus pay or I'm getting a lot of orders. Now, if it's here at $14, and again, that's $14 averaged over 90 orders. Again, that is exceptional. Now, here's the thing. If you're going for an earnings guarantee and you're not really going for surge, you're not going for any quest bonuses, my strategy and your strategy should be different. So unlike a surge strategy where I'm trying to make as much money as possible on the highest surge possible, for earnings guarantees, I'm going for the shortest runs possible. Because remember, I'm guaranteed $1,300 for 90 deliveries. It does not matter how much money I make. I can make $800, $900, $1,000. I will be guaranteed to make $1,300 after 90 deliveries. So your earnings really doesn't matter. So what you want to do here is optimize your miles on your vehicle. And then lastly, number 4, something new really to 2022 is I would keep your options open. And this does specifically refer to Uber Eats. Now, I say this really specifically referring to Uber Connect versus Uber Eats deliveries. Now, hear me out on this one. Uber Connect's a newer feature on Uber Eats, where you're delivering packages versus just food delivery. Now, here's a few examples, and here is a really big caveat. This is why I at least want you to keep your options open. Right now, at the time of filming this video, the Uber Connect runs that I've gotten, again, they look like this. It'll say 14 minutes away. It gives me the user's rating. It says a distance away, and then it does give me some kind of a surge or a bonus pay. But my big problem with Connect, and we'll show you another example here, is they don't show you the entire payout. Now, I say keep this at least as an option. You can filter it on and off, or at least you can leave it on and just ignore Connect runs. I would constantly be looking at this in 2022, and I would look for when they do, hopefully, release the predicted quoted pay. Now, if you don't want to do that, of course, you can just subscribe here. I will let you know first when and if Uber Eats actually turns predicted, quoted pay on for Uber Connect runs. But it could be a good option because I'll tell you, on some of these delivery apps, the pay has been pretty good. So Connect runs maybe this year might be a good option to have on, as well as the Uber Eats delivery runs. So if you got value in this video, you can definitely drop me a like. And you can also click or tap screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.